And me and Ray knew we were going to get people on board. We were going to get sales guys. So we went ahead and started with 2 people in the office, even when there was only 3 of us out in the field. It was me, him, and Shannon, you know.
What about a person in that situation who's made a partnership and they don't feel like the other people are putting in the same level of effort that they are?
And I realized that, you know, if this is something that I want to take to another level, I can't do it by myself, you know. So you have to teach people to be just as good, if not better than you. And I think that's where a lot of people lack, is they don't want to train and give away all their knowledge, but you have to.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I'm on site with Perimeter Roofing. Todd Price, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, brother.
We are talking about systems and scaling, and I'd love to pick your brain on those things.
Let's do it.
So, from your point of view, what are some of the most important systems that you've put into place now as you're growing this roofing company and you're starting to acquire other companies? What are you looking at as far as systems on a regular basis? What are the most important ones?
I mean, there's a variety of different things. I think one, obviously, like you mentioned, if we're acquiring other companies, or they have to be integrated. So everything can't be, you know, if I was buying I like to use analogies, but if I was buying a Chick-fil-A and then a Wendy's and a McDonald's, I can't keep them all the same. They got to be integrated. So when you go from one to the next, it's the same process, same menu, same everything. So you have to integrate those, and a lot of those processes include same CRM system, same capabilities with call center, door knocking, training, continued education. Like we had John Cenac in yesterday, so you know, we're providing education across the board. But then most importantly is the back office, which is where I think a lot of people miss. So many people are focused on the sales standpoint and in a hurry to even make that sale just to get to the next one, that they don't focus on you know, rapport, referrals, or things of that nature. So having your pitches down, your processes down, your back office down, and having some structure and organization to where you have a multitude of people in the office that all can do different tasks. That way the ball never gets dropped. If you just have random people in the office that kind of do everything, then it's, you know, well, Tim, I thought you did that. Oh no, I thought you did that. And then nobody did it.
It has to be somebody's fault.
Correct. So
it can get fixed.
If we have one person that does each thing, you know, then it's kind of like an assembly line. And then, you know, all our communication, everything that we do goes through our CRM system. We use AccuLinks. So essentially, if it's not in AccuLinks, it didn't happen.
Yeah. So a lot of the guys, you obviously didn't start there, right? With the people at the, and I've talked to a lot of guys going from like 3 to 15, you know, that type of company. And sorry, I know this is a difficult question, but like, what is your order of importance as you're growing from kind of a micro small business to your first 10, 20, 30 people? I'm saying like on the office side and system side, who did you add first, and would have you changed that?
So at first, you know, we started with 2 people because we knew, as far as in the office, because we knew the importance of having, you know, that back office side of things, and we didn't want to overload one person with too much stuff. So we started with 2 people and kind of split the responsibilities. But we made sure that the back office kind of grew at the same rate, if not faster, than the project management team, because we never wanted this side to get bogged down, because then that bogs down everybody, the entire process. COC's getting sent in, builds getting produced, etc. So, and me and Ray knew we were going to get people on board. We were going to get sales guys. So we went ahead and started with 2 people in the office, even when there was only 3 of us out in the field. It was me, him, and Shannon, you know. But we were all doing over $2 million a year by ourselves right out the gate.
That's an incredible start, by the way. From your point of view, the 3 people at the top, the partnership, what has been a good and a difficult thing about that, the partnership?
So, I mean, you know, the good thing is that we all have grown this together, you know, from the ground up. So essentially when we first started, it was just me, and, you know, I trained everybody. I did orders, I did COCs, I was doing a lot of different stuff. And even while I was out driving, doing adjuster meetings, training Ray, training other guys, working with Shannon, whatever I had to do to grow the company. And I realized that, if this is something that I want to take to another level, I can't do it by myself. So I think that's one thing that people got to understand is you have to teach people to be just as good, if not better than you. And I think that's where a lot of people lack, is they don't want to train and give away all their knowledge, but you have to. And then two, you have to have partners. You can't be greedy. You have to have people that can help you out in other areas. And if it wasn't for any one of these people in this room, we wouldn't be where we're at.
I've got a good one. And a lot of people have this where they feel like a partner isn't pulling the same amount of weight that they are. And I know you have two great people, and obviously I've got a bunch of great people now, but like, what about a person in that situation who's made a partnership and they don't feel like the other people are putting in the same level of effort that they are?
And that's a hard situation that you have to have, a talk with that partner. And, it either comes a time where, hey, we have to be on the same front with not only our morals and our values and our code of ethics and everything else, but we also have to put in the same amount of work. Just like a marriage, it's 50-50. It's all like, you have to do these things, I have to do these things, or else if you drop the ball, we both fail, and we can't do that. So you have to have those hard conversations. Luckily for us, we've all had a rough past, so we never want to go back to that. We've all been grinders, and we've put in our work. Now, we put in our work in different areas. I was out in the field for a long time. I'm not out in the field anymore. I do a lot of the back office type stuff, face the company. I do a lot of podcasts, public speaking, things of that nature to get our name out there and also to help acquire companies. But as long as you see the value in those other people and what they do, like I see immense value in Ray and what he does. He helps tremendously with the guys in the field. He gets a ton of roofs approved. He's out there motivating and hustling. Same thing with Lance. He does the organization. He oversees the crews. He gets them where they need to be, gets them their addresses, makes sure the dump trailers are where they're supposed to be. And even though I'm not in the hot sun sweating, they see the value in me. Yeah. I did that for a long time, but they see the value in me and what I do because I'm getting our name out there. I'm implementing systems. I'm the one talking to, higher ups and things of that nature to make shit happen. So as long as you see the value in each person, even though it might be completely different roles, then you have to know your strengths and weaknesses. I took on my strengths, Ray's taken on his strengths, and we all have different strengths and weaknesses, so I think that's why we work so...
Different types of hustle.
Yeah, together so well.
So,
This is a subscription to knowledge, the most in-depth knowledge that you can find in our industry. We're spending the money to make sure that our production value is so high that you'll actually absorb the information and feel like you're getting something premium at the Building Experts Institute.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps other people see this content. We're back every Tuesday and Friday with the podcast, and we've got a ton of other videos. Thanks, guys. One of the bigger questions was just like, as you guys are growing and doing amazing things like the Backend Systems, is there any like things that you've learned in the past couple years that you can share with other roofing companies about Backend Systems? Like anything that you can share about the way your office works that was very helpful for you that you've learned in the last few years?
One thing that I would say, and this isn't directly related to the back end side of things, this is just related to a company as a whole, is don't grow too fast. Always make it something that you can sustain long term. Slow and steady growth, wins the race. Because you got to remember, this is a long term play.
That's funny that you say that, because one of the other questions was, how did you grow so fast?
Well, we've been lucky, but I say that, but before also, but part of the reason we did grow so fast is because we scaled back. So at first we were in 7 states, but we had 2-3 people in 7 states. But I was a young entrepreneur, and it sounded cool to say, yeah, we're in 7 states. That sounded fucking cool to people.
Yeah, it does sound cool.
It wasn't. The money wasn't there. It was a headache. It was stressful. You only had 2 or 3 people. So the service area in each market, each state was much, much smaller. When we scaled back and brought everybody back to Atlanta with a central location, we were able to start servicing all of Georgia and expand from there slowly but surely. And that's really how we were able to grow so fast, because we started with a central hub and just expanded outward. And we were then also able to provide better quality and service to our customers as well. That's
And then
one of the
grow
biggest
that
things.
brand, right? Like
and grow the brand, yeah.
It's like almost like a fire. You got to bring the different pieces together and get it hot. And,
Yep.
Yeah, and that can
and
spread
then
out.
let it spread from there. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned. The other biggest thing that I've learned is, and this applies on all different aspects, whether you're dealing with homeowners, whether you're dealing with subcontractors, whether you're dealing with insurance companies, is always cover your ass. So document everything, especially, I've learned the hard way. Make sure every single person has workers' comp. If you're cutting them a check, make sure they have workers' comp. Because especially in roofing, it's one of the highest priced forms of workers' comp out there. So you can get fined a lot of money, and I learned that the hard way. So make sure, and don't just take their word for it with a COI, because I've seen people get insurance, send you a COI, and cancel it a week later. So make sure we test it every single Friday. Anybody that we're cutting a check to, we look up in the state system, make sure their workers' comp is active, print that out with their pay stub, and give it to them, and we keep a copy as well. So that way we know when we paid them that day, it was active.
All right. Any other systems? I'm just trying to think about like other folks scaling. Maybe let's just say across the country for your peace of mind to think, not thinking about competitors, but like I'm growing, adding systems. Obviously, you started with good raw materials, right? You got the 2 million, 2 million, 2 million. That helps. And then you started with the 2 office staff, which I think is really smart. You guys are on AccuLinks. You guys have production manager. Just thinking about anything else that's like system wise.
So another thing that's really been beneficial for us as far as systems is concerned is, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are focused on the next build, the next sale, which is great. You have to be focused on that. But you also have to be focused on closing out the other one, handling any issues that arise, making sure that homeowners are completely happy. So one is we implemented a while back a walk-around form. So every single customer signs off on a walk-around form before anybody gets paid. And that has to be done within 48 hours of us doing the roof. Because obviously there could be other contractors that come out there and do things, and obviously tearing a roof off is much bigger than a lot of other things that somebody might be getting done to their home. So we want to do a walk-around form. One, because if somebody else did damage to a property and it wasn't on us, we don't want to be held responsible. But at the same time, if there's something we did, we want to fix it. It's construction. Things happen. So, if we break a walkway light or anything like that, we need to get those items fixed for that homeowner as fast as possible. So that way we can have all that stuff handled. The other thing is that a lot of these guys will focus on those sales and their numbers, but not focus on closing out jobs. Or they have like I said, a problem homeowner, and they just push that to, I'm probably never going to get that check. So they push it to the side. And obviously from a company standpoint, that's where a majority of your profit is. So we actually have one person that literally actually 2 now, because as far as how big we've gotten, but we have 2 people that all they do is call the insurance company and check on depreciation checks. And did you receive the COC? Yes, you did. Great. When did you send it out? No, you didn't. Let me resend it right now while I got you on the phone. All right, now you received it. When are you sending that out? And then they'll call the homeowner, let the homeowner know, hey, Tim, just wanted to let you know, we talked to State Farm. They're sending out that depreciation check tomorrow. Normally it takes 7 to 10 days to get there. Be on the lookout for it. I know sometimes you get stuff from State Farm, you might throw it on the counter. This is actually going to be a check. So as soon as you get it, let me know. I'll come by and grab it from you, bud. So that way they know that not only to look out for it, but 2, we're in touch with the insurance company. We are fully aware of what's going on.
Love it. I'm going to wrap it up with just another what else? What else in the last year that you've we talk about expensive lessons, right? Any other things that you could share? Because I think sharing failure is generous. Any other systems you've got?
no other real any expensive.
I know when you said
the
workers' comp.
The workers' comp will get you.
Yeah.
You know, so when I think about that in terms of stuff, there's been nothing else super crazy.
Young business owners going from 3 to 15. Like anything else systems wise that you recommend?
Yeah, I would say make sure that you come up with a system and a structure and processes across the board and stick with them.
Yeah.
So, because if not, if you try to change things over time and somebody's been with you for 2 years and then you try to switch things up, you know, that person's become entitled due to certain things. And then you find out for legality reasons, you can't do this. As a subcontractor, you can't buy them shirts. You can't buy them hats. You can't buy them business cards.
Yeah.
They're a subcontractor. They're their own company. You can't help them out. If you do that, you can actually get misqualified.
Wow.
Yeah, so they can say that you misclassified them and they can actually sue you.
Okay.
So I could buy you business cards. You could turn around and sue me because I misclassified you and get $5,000.
So I just left some shirts and cards in the back of your truck, and then well, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, so we did create a store online to where now the guys can go online.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It's all print on demand. So whether they want, you know, like license plates for the front of their truck, or whether they want yard signs, cards, hats, shirts, women's shirts, kids' shirts for their kids, whatever it may be, they can go on there, click it, and order it.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you for sharing. I know it's going to
Absolutely.
be a short one today because we got a couple. It's a busy day too with Raymond, and so I really appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
Thanks
We'll
for
do it
letting me
again.
Hang out.
Perfect.
All right. Peace.
Appreciate it.